Welcome to the Offshore Club's most riveting and revealing offshore lifestyle podcast, Open Mike, with Mike Cobb. For more than 20 years, Mike has worked and lived in Caribbean countries from north to south and the Atlantic to the Pacific. Nobody knows it better. And now, here is your offshore ambassador at large, Mike Cobb.
Hi, this is Carib Carter Clues, and welcome to Open Mike with the offshore investor, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Mike Cobb. And since it's his show, let me bring Mike on very quickly here. Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, Carter. Happy 4th of July, man.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July to you as well. Thank you very, very much. And you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to share this thought with our viewers. We are going to, Mike and I are today going to do 4 shows, okay? 4. And I want you folks to, each one's going to be about a different country that Mike has invested in or is about to invest in. And we're going to talk about them. Each one's going to be about 15 minutes. So make sure if you happen to pick up one of these, go look at offshore.club at Open Mike Show. And it's on every Friday. And check out this. As you watch this edition, I think you're going to say, wow, I'd like to see more about that. And look at the other 3 shows, okay, as well. Mike, in my opinion, when we talk about investing offshore, we're really talking about 2 kinds of investments. One is an investment of people's money, and the other is an investment of themselves, okay?
Yep.
The latter is lifestyle. On Open Mike, we focus more on the investment, the monetary investment, but really they're totally intertwined. Do you agree with that?
You know, I do, Carter. Generally, I agree that for most people, let me make that pretty clear, that for most people, they are intertwined, right? This idea of owning, say, a vacation property that they're going to use once in a while, and they're going to rent it out when they're not there. And I'm sorry, folks, I actually have to keep my phone on. I am waiting for one important phone call about my flight to the Azores later today. So,
that's
right. And that wasn't
fine. It lends it an air of reality, folks. This is video verite.
Right? Yeah, right. I'm going to the Azores later. And so I got to get this. You know, it's interesting. So let me digress just for a second. And we should talk about the Azores and Portugal a little bit today, Carter. But
let's do it.
But, you know, right now, because of all the COVID nonsense, you have to have a letter of invitation from a business, the attorney of a business in Portugal. So anyway, that's the last piece of the puzzle. I'm waiting on it. And anyway, when they call me, I'll be able to go downstairs after this and get it printed and take it. So anyway, that's I'm headed off to the Azores. I'm in Boston, actually. Boston is the one place in the U.S. that has direct flights to the Azores, which makes it pretty convenient. It's about halfway across the Atlantic. Otherwise, you have to fly over to Lisbon. You fly over it, and then you turn around and you fly halfway back across the Atlantic. So just made more sense to come up to Boston and do it. But to come back to your original question, Carter, for a lot of people, probably, let me just say 2/3. I'll use that number. That might actually be high as I think about it. Maybe a half. Half the folks out there are looking for a vacation property that they can also use, as an investment when they're not there, right? They're going to rent it out.
Yep.
Some of the folks are actually looking at it in their mind's eye as a place that they might retire to in the future or spend more time. You don't have to necessarily retire now. Being a digital nomad's great. I mean, if you're in your 50s and you can work from home, right? Well, home can be anywhere. So why wait to retire? Why wait till you're 65? Move sooner, right? If you can do your job from wherever. And we're starting to see people do that. But to answer your question, generally about half the folks are looking at vacation/investment property. And the other half, I would say, probably bifurcates. 25% of the folks looking are just simply looking for a place to live. It is lifestyle only. And then maybe the other 25% is looking for an investment only. So I would say right now, that's how it shapes up. It moves over time, by the way. In the 25 years we've been in existence as a company, we've seen it move from very heavily investment in 2005, 6, 7 to much more heavily on the lifestyle, 2011 to maybe 2016. So it's moved. It's kind of interesting how it's moved over time. But today, it's probably half kind of investment and lifestyle, 25% investment only, 25% lifestyle only. So,
what's interesting about that, Mike, is I like embody that. I have 2 properties in Honduras, one in a quaint community, which is strictly investment, cash flow. The other, and maybe if appreciation enough, eventually we'll sell it at a when it gets to the right appreciation price. The other one on the beach outside of La Ceiba, that's our vacation home, and eventually will be our retirement home. So we embody exactly what you're saying. And right now, you mentioned you're on your way to the Azores. Let's start out. We're talking about 4 different areas where you have invested or are getting ready to invest in these next 4 shows, next 4 podcasts for Open Mic, Offshore.club, folks. And you're on the way to the Azores to invest perhaps in the Azores for yet another residential resort community, of which you have, I think, 4 now or 5, right?
Yeah, five, exactly.
5. Fantastic. Yeah. All over Central America and top of the line, folks. Go to ECIdevelopment.com, right, Mike?
Correct. ECIdevelopment.com.
Yep. Yeah. And they are incredible, beautiful and incredible investments, or, to move in or invest in, whatever. Great prices, great homes. But let's talk about, why are you making the move now to Europe?
Sure. Well, it's interesting because we've always said we're a Central and South American company. We like working on the same time zone. It's easy, a lot of great flight connections, things like that. Right. And over 25 years of being in business, we've talked to literally tens of thousands of people at various conferences and through webinars and things like that. And the vast majority of the folks that we talk with anyway are looking at the Americas, Central and South America, Mexico, just because it's in this hemisphere, and the conferences that we speak at are generally in this area, and the content of the conference or the webinar, things like that, tend to be about this area. However, what's interesting is when people start to look for property overseas, be it lifestyle or investment, that they tend to look at several different things. Very few people say, I know I want to live in Belize. That's exactly where I'm going. Right, some people do, but that's not the norm. The norm is, I don't quite know where I want to go, but I want to look at a few places. Interestingly, Portugal, of the European destinations, is one place that we find a lot of the people who are looking at the Americas are also looking at Portugal. And it really has to do with Portugal's, I would say, prudence and wisdom of coming up with what they call their golden visa program. Basically what it is it allows you to become a resident of Portugal very easily, with depends on where. And that's why we're going to the Azores, by the way. If you wanted to make the golden visa investment in Lisbon, or most of Portugal proper, you'd be looking at about a 500,000 euro investment. So what's that, about 600,000 or something like that. But you get a permanent residency, which can lead then in 5 years to citizenship. And again, for a lot of people who want Europe, this is the least expensive way into Europe. If you go to Malta, I think it's €1 million or 2 million euros. If you go to Austria, it's 2 million euros. So again, if you're looking to have a European residency, which can ultimately lead to citizenship, right, Portugal is the least expensive. Europe's expensive. Let's just face it. It's not like Latin America, right? Europe's very different. The nice thing about the Azores is it's we would call it an opportunity zone in the United States. It's an area of economic need, right? And they want to develop tourism, so they've put in incentives there. It's 300,000 euros, which is about $350,000 or something, to get a residency. So, and it's an investment. A lot of places where you just have to make it, you have to basically, write a check to the government and they keep your money. This is actually an investment. You own something, and most people choose real estate. You could start a business as well. So my business partner, Joel Nagel, who's been on this program and has his own program here with the Offshore Club, he has identified a property in the Azores. It's spectacular, old villa that has like a 300-400 year old monastery part of it. I mean, it's this incredible, beautiful property. And they're looking to redevelop it. It is an active bed and breakfast. but there's additional property next to it. So we're going to go meet with the municipality. The owners of this particular bed and breakfast are excited about the opportunity to sell. They've been there for a long time. It's a German couple. They've been there, I think, for about 20 years. So the place has been well maintained and it looks great. But they're ready to be out. And from our perspective, will the municipality allow us to come in and develop some of the land around it? And if they will, then I think it's probably a great place for an ECI project. So we'll see, Carter. I don't know, but this is the first step. Well, it's actually the second step. First step is finding the property, doing what I call the background due diligence, and then the next thing is sort of that site visit, meet with the municipality, make sure they're willing to change the zoning a little bit to allow us to come in and build a cute little neighborhood. Really is what we're going to do there. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. The Azores, for those who aren't familiar, you might want to Google it, folks, because the Azores is just gorgeous, right, Mike?
Yeah.
It's still very pristine, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, just one of the most beautiful spots in Europe. And so your developments are always just, I think that, I would use the word exquisite because they really are. You take care of everything. They're beautifully done, beautifully laid out. The homes are well built and enticing. In the community you're getting ready to build in the Azores, if you make that decision to move forward, are you going to build homes that are the same type of residences that are in the area? It's very quaint colonial there. Is that what you're looking to do?
It is, Carter. I mean, you've seen what we've done in other places in Belize and in Nicaragua, and one of our foundational tenets as a development company is to come in and to identify the local architectural elements, work with a local architect. We haven't identified anyone at this point, but work with a local architect. But you know what? It's interesting, Carter. A lot of architects, if you're an architect, sorry if I offend you, a lot of architects today want to be different and unique. And Frank Gehry designed some crazy stuff. I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, he designed the Bio Center in Panama, and I don't like it personally. I know a lot of people do. I don't like it because to me, it's not in keeping with the authenticity of what Panama is. And so what we try to find when we have so far, and I assume we will in the future, we look for an architect who's got a strong sense of tradition, right? We want somebody who's a traditional architect, right? And so again, we've got a 300-400-year-old monastery as part of the original structure, and this land around it. We would want to build something that would harmonize with what's there specifically on the property, but much more generally harmonize with what's on the island itself, so that people might actually come and look at it and go, wow. I mean, they won't know whether it's been there for 100 years, 300 years, or 10 minutes. Like that's the goal. The goal is to produce something that people don't know how long it's been there.
That's fantastic. The ambiance. It's preserving the ambiance, and you're a master of that. Let me ask you one more question because we're running out of time for Portugal today. And it may be a question you say, Carter, it's impossible to say at this point, but what kind of let's say I'm interested in owning a home in the Azores. Either because I want to retire there, I want to vacation there, I want to rent it out, whatever. Any idea what kind of price structure you're looking at this point?
Yeah, I mean, so what we will do is we will build a home that really kind of gets you right in around that investment number. So figure it's going to be about 300,000 euros to own one of these homes. We don't know exactly what it'll be yet. Again, I haven't put feet on the ground. So part of it is for me to get feet on the ground and really start to feel the place, right? That's the artistic element. And so I don't know, but price point, right around 300,000 euros, so that if somebody wants to get that residency, the golden visa, this ownership of one of these homes would allow them to do it. So yeah, we'll see, Carter. I'm excited.
It is exciting. So what you're saying then is for this golden visa, I'm not just handing the Portuguese government $350,000 and saying, bye, make me a Portuguesian or whatever they call themselves. What I'm saying is you're allowing people to make an investment that for someone like me, getting to be a Portuguesian would be fine. Okay, now I'm a Portuguesian. But what I like is the fact that what you're saying is I get that almost like frosting on the cake because I have an investment in a home.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And Carter, what's even more cool about it is, right, so let's just say you just want the residency, right? You have the investment, and then because it's already an ongoing operation, bed and breakfast, so there's already a hotel residency component that produces cash flow, right? So that piece is already there, which is primarily the reason we're looking at this specific opportunity. Look, there's land everywhere. I mean, land's easy to buy, right? But having an ongoing business that already generates cash flow is key for an investment. But here's the really cool thing, Carter. Let's just say you want this because you really want to live in Paris. I see the picture of Paris behind you there, by the way.
There we are.
Yeah.
That's me right up on the Eiffel Tower. Right
so if you wanted to get, hey, all right, well, that's good. Wave at you, Carter. The thing about if you wanted to get residency in France,
right?
I don't know how hard it would be. Let me just tell you, hard, really hard. But if you're a resident of Portugal, guess where you can go live? France, because you're a EU resident. That's the really cool thing. That's why a lot of people use the golden visa to get in, because it's the fastest, easiest way to become an EU resident. You want to go live in Paris? Live in Paris. You want to live in Greece? Live in Greece. You want to live in Denmark? I don't know why you do. Anyway, no offense. I get myself in trouble today, Carter, with architects and Denmarkians. But anyway, Danish. There we go. Denmark.
There we go. Danish. Yeah. I think I'm becoming a Danish. Yeah, I'm sorry for anybody from Portugal if I butchered the name of what you are, but I didn't want to say Portugueser because I'm already a geezer and I don't want to make it even worse for myself. So,
there you go.
But this is fantastic. So how can people keep track of? Are you going to report on this at ecidevelopment.com to keep people updated?
Well, we don't yet, but if anyone's interested, just send an email to info@ecidevelopment.com. Just write something about Azores, golden visa, something like that in the subject line. And as soon as we have any information, we will reply to you immediately. We'll probably reply to you anyway, but we'll send you the information as soon as we have it. You'll be on the top of the list to hear about it as soon as we have something.
Okay, folks. Yeah, there you go, Mike. That's fantastic. Folks, you're looking at a great investment opportunity. It's win-win-win, cash flow, equity, and if you wanted a citizenship, a golden visa citizenship. So, Mike, thank you and good luck. Godspeed, and we'll wait to hear more about it. Thank you.
That's good. Thanks, Carter.
For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Mike Cobb, visit offshore.club today. Offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.